Want to ask you something. If you had to go to the emergency room tonight, like right now, and a nurse asked you to walk them through your child's complete medical history, how confident are you? Not just with the diagnosis, but the whole picture. Like every medication, dosage, even the allergies, every surgery, every specialist, every standing order. If you felt even a moment of hesitation, this video is for you because the difference between walking in that room confident and walking and scrambling is not knowledge. You already have the knowledge, it's the organization. And today we're fixing that. Welcome back, caregiver. This is Caregiver the Health Boss, and I am Michelle Stevens. So today we are talking about that single most important tool in a special needs family's toolkit. It's not medication, it's not therapy, it's not even a specialist. It is a binder. Stay with me because I promise this one is more powerful than it sounds. So now let me paint you a picture that you might recognize. Your child has been diagnosed, maybe recently, maybe a couple of years ago. You have been to a dozen or so appointments, like hundreds, and you have been at this for an extremely long time. And somewhere along the way, without anyone planning it, you became the medical record. Not the hospital system, not the portal, not the chart, but you. You're the one who remembers that the dosage was changed in March, that the allergy reaction happened with the specific antibiotic, not the whole class, just that one. That the last MRI showed something the current specialist doesn't know about yet because maybe the referral paperwork got lost. You are carrying all of that around in your head every day. This is an extraordinary amount of information to hold in one place. I've been doing this for 16, going on 17 years with one. It's been a total of over 20 plus years. It's just a lot. When all of that is placed in the mind that is managing appointments, school communications, insurance calls, therapy schedules, the rest of the family's entire life, your work, everything that's going on. The care binder is not about doing more. It's about getting everything done that's already in your head and getting it onto paper, organized, accessible, and ready for whoever needs it whenever they need it. It is the transfer from your memory to a system, and that transfer will change how you show up. Let me walk you through exactly what your care binder needs to contain. There's 7 sections, and every one of them matters. So let's walk through it. Section 1, the medical snapshot. This is your one-page overview, the document that tells the full story, but fast. It includes your child's name, their date of birth, the primary diagnosis, a secondary diagnosis if they have one, blood type, insurance information, primary care contact. This page goes to every new provider, like every ER visit, every school nurse, every respite caregiver, the one page. Everything essential so that you never have to explain your child's history from the beginning again. Section number 2 is the medical history timeline. So think of this as your child's story in chronological order. It's every hospitalization, every surgery. And if you're like us, we have more surgeries than his age. Every significant diagnosis, every major treatment decision and outcome. Why does this matter? Because patterns live in timelines. So when you can see that your child's full history is laid out, not just what's happening now, but what has happened before, you start to see some connections that individual specialists may not see because they only have one piece. You, you have the whole picture. The timeline is proof of it. All right, so number 3 is the current medication log. This section is living and breathing. It changes every time anything changes. So, for each medication, you need the name of the medication, what's it's for, current diagnosis, the frequency and time of day, the prescribing doctor, the date that the current dosage was set, any known reactions or side effects, and if you have a G tube like my child does, the way that you give it. Some medications we give by mouth, and others are through his G tube. So here's a practical tip: keep a run and change log at the bottom of this section. So every time a medication is added, adjusted, or removed, date it and note it. The log has saved families in emergency rooms when a doctor asks what the child was on 6 months ago versus today. And typically, like when we go to the ER, they want you to list all of the current medication, the last time the last medication has been given, et cetera, so they can clean up their records. The answer being right there, dated and documented, is the difference between a confident conversation and a guessed one. All right, so section number four, specialist directory. So, how many specialists is your child seeing? Is it three? Is it five or eight or even more? Every one of them needs to be in this section: their name, their practice, the phone, the fax, what they manage. And this is the part that most people skip. So, what each specialist is known about your child, but the others may not know because they are not always talking to each other. You are the connection. So, this section makes the most informed person in every conversation. You, you're the most informed person in all the conversations. All right, so number five, therapy and treatment log. So if your child receives ongoing therapy, whether it be physical, occupational, speech, behavioral, feeding, we do aquatics, track it all in this section. We do hippotherapy as well. Track it, right? The current providers, the frequency, like the goals that are being worked on, what's showing progress, what's been tried, what's been discontinued. When you apply for new services or when you go to your IEP meeting, when you switch providers, this section is your evidence. Not just that your child received services, but the history of those services. Like what worked, what didn't work, where are you now? That history has value in every single conversation when someone is making a decision about your child's care. Section number seven. Nobody likes this section, but everybody needs it. So, like prior authorizations and their expiration date. So, this section is the insurance and financial records section. Any appeals that you filed, claims that were denied, and what happened next. The explanation of benefits documents for like major procedures. Special needs families navigate insurance at a level that most people never encounter. And the families who document that navigation, who have a paper trail, are the ones who win their appeals, who get the authorizations, who don't have to start from scratch every single time. This section isn't just about paperwork, it is about protecting your child financially. Section number seven, emergency protocol. All right. So we talked about this in the last episode, but it also belongs in a binder. Your child's emergency plan, written out what the most likely scenarios are and what to do in those situations, who to call, in what order, what hospital. We have preferred hospitals down here. So, what hospital? What are the standing orders? Do they exist? What your child cannot receive under any circumstances. Like for us, you cannot change his milk. Cannot change his milk, and you cannot, for some of his medications, you cannot give him the generic brand. If you give him a generic brand and not the brand, he will start to see serious side effects. And a copy, right? So give a copy to the school, give a copy to your child's respiratory provider. So anyone who cares for your child when they are not there. This plan works and only works if the people who need it can find it when they need it. So I want you to think about all of the changes when this binder exists. So you have to walk into an appointment and you're not hoping that you remember everything. You know that you have it. A specialist on your that joins your child's team, instead of spending the first 30 minutes reconstructing history, you had them the medical snapshot and the conversation starts from there with what happens next. Your child's school calls with a question. Your mother is watching the kids and something changes and you are in an unfamiliar city and you need urgent care. In every one of those moments, your system answers before your anxiety can. I promise. I built my first version of this in a notebook because I kept walking out of appointments feeling like I hadn't said the right things. I hadn't remembered the right details. I had not shown up prepared like my child deserved. And if your specialist is anything like mine, it is a 3 to 6 month before you can get back in to talk to them again. And even if you leave a message, our system is it takes a long time to have somebody get back to you. So, the Care for Me planner, this planner right here, is what started as a notebook after 20 years of refining it. Every section exists because I needed it at some point. Nothing is there because it seemed like it was just a good idea. Everything is in there because I lived in those moments where not having it caused us something. The Care for Me planner is the physical system built around everything that we covered today. It includes all 7 sections designed for caregiver families who are managing medically complex children and need information organized, accessible, and ready. And it's not just for those caregiving, those special needs parents who are dealing with caregiving for their children, but it's also designed for caregivers in general. It is built for the parent or caregiver who is already doing everything right, who just needs a place to put all of this information um, down. And it's better than having it in your own memory. So if your child has been recently diagnosed, start here. This is the foundation. Before it, before I built it now before the information gets harder to reconstruct. After years and years of doing this, it gets harder and harder just to remember everything. So if you've been caregiving for years, start here too. It's never too late to get organized. And the clarity that you will feel after completing even the first 2 sections is worth every minute that it takes. The link will be in the description. And if you want to see exactly how I set it up, subscribe because this is exactly what next week's video is going to cover. So, you were chosen for this child, not by accident, not by chance. And part of being chosen is being equipped. The care binder is not extra, it's not optional for the organized type of parent. It is a tool that turns love and instincts into a system that protects your child every single day. Even one of the days you are running on empty and you cannot hold not one more thing in your head. Build it this week. Even one section, just start there. All right, so drop a comment and tell me which section do you need most right now. I'll be in the comments and I would love to know. Share this with a caregiving parent or caregiver in general who needs to hear it. Subscribe because next week we're going section by section through exactly how to get this thing set up. I'll see you in the next one. Until next time, caregiver.